What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob, doing the 2019 Macallan Classic Cut. So this is the newer Macallan bottle. In 2017, they used the old Macallan bottle. That's this one right here. I reviewed this. It's in my archives. You can check that out. And this is the 2018, which is the first when they switched over to the newer bottle. Last year's edition. Okay. As you can see, it's a little upgraded, I guess you could say. With the Edition series, they kept the old bottle. I guess they want to keep it uniform. For the Classic Cut, these tend to be a little bit less expensive in North America, and also, I guess, maybe a little bit less desire to keep it uniform as well, because they changed up the bottling, and I believe they'll continue to do this for a very long time. There's no indication as to them stopping the Classic Cut series. Got my Aquavite coin right here. He has a new series out. This one is Edition 1 Smoke. This one is Edition 2 Water. You guys can check that out on his YouTube channel. Roy's a great guy. This is also his shirt. Got a nice little care package from him, and I decided to do a little advertising for him as well. Alright, so Macallan Classic Cut 2019, that's this one right here, 52.9%. I bought this bottle out west. Was really happy that it came out fairly early in Western Canada. The 2018 is 51.2% alcohol by volume. The 2019 is actually a little bit higher, obviously. It's almost 2% higher. So there's that. But the 2017 was 58.4, all right? 58.4%. And I also think it's a little darker in color, but I could be wrong. I gotta really check that out. Maybe it's just the bottling. Maybe it's just the style of bottle that makes it look darker. But anyway, this is the three. I really enjoyed the first two. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about the third one right now. So on the nose, a really nice bready cake type note. This is exclusively aged in European oak, Spanish oak, Oloroso sherry casks. It says it right here. Matured exclusively in hand-picked sherry casks from Jerez, Spain, and bottled to reveal the extraordinary character of a timeless spirit. The nose is a really, really nice nose. It's definitely Macallan. You definitely get the Macallan distillery characteristic. There's absolutely no sulfur notes to this one at all, which I really, really like. I'm assuming Classic Cut means that they took barrels of distillate or barrels of whiskey, that the distillate was mainly Hart's cuts. As some of you may know, there's three types of cuts when it comes to distilling whiskey. There's the heads, the hearts, and the tails. The hearts tends to be the sweetest, purest of the whiskey. But companies will use the heads and the tails as well, because it gives it a little bit of a unique taste. Obviously more towards the hearts than the heads and tails. I think this might be majority, if not entirely, hearts. The way it tastes, there's very little bitterness. The way it smells, but I could be wrong. Classic Cut, I'd be very curious to know what they mean by Classic Cut. There's a little bit of that sawdust note that's now reminiscent with the sherry seasoned casks. I don't find it off-putting, but some people do. They relate it to a pencil shavings kind of note. I actually don't mind it at all. But it's definitely not dominant on the nose. You definitely get more of that sweet sherry note. On the palate, without water, yeah, really nice. You actually don't need a lot of water here. I'm gonna add some, but what you do get here without water is the Oloroso sherry notes, not dark notes, but fresh fruit, maybe fresh raspberries, something like that. I did get a hit of cinnamon as well, which is really nice. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple drops of water here, but definitely not needed. And I'm using my Sipper Social Club dropper. This thing's pretty cool. Jeremy had a bunch of them made. You guys can get those on his website. So I'm definitely getting that cinnamon note now on the nose as well. It's really nice. Still very bready. Almost like a cinnamon raisin bread. That's kind of what I'm getting here. With water on the palate, this gets a lot sweeter. It wasn't hot to begin with, but it's definitely smoother now with some water. Definitely more viscous as well. The palate gets a little bit thicker, a little bit more gooey. Yeah, wow. Great sweetness to this one. I feel like last year's edition was more black licorice. This year's edition is more cinnamon heavy. I can't remember what the first one was like, but I remember really enjoying it. All three of these are really good. I do plan on collecting this. I probably would have got a free bottle of this if I waited it out and waited for it to come to Ontario, but as many of you know, I'm very anxious when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I wanted to taste it for myself. I will be collecting it. I'll get my backup bottle eventually. But wow, this is really good. Yeah, nice sweetness. Like I said, there's cinnamon there. A nice bready note on the palate as well. Definitely some oranges. You get that classic Macallan orange type note. Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 90. I think that's really nice stuff. Maybe a point less than the Edition 5, but not much. They're very, very close. I would not be surprised if more people enjoy this than the Edition 5. I tend to really like American oak sherry casks. I think that Macallan does a really good job with the Edition 3 and the Edition 5. Those tend to be my favorite of the Edition series. So take that with a grain of salt, because I do like my American cask, but I can definitely see people really, really enjoying this classic cut. I think it's excellent stuff. Like I said, that's an A+ for me. It's a 90. Guys, let me know if you see something on the shelf here that you'd like to see shortly. Obviously, I have the Long Girl 21 in the background. I still have this Michter's 10-year-old bourbon. That's the 2019 version. I have a few of the Springbank and Long Girl Society casks, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to get to shortly. So if you have any ideas and you want to throw them my way, feel free. If you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you really like the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell so that you guys get notifications for when I do release a video. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can support this channel on Patreon. Cheers.